I feel angry. I feel helpless. Want to change the world, yeah. I feel violent. I feel alone. Don't try and change my mind, no. Today, on my own podcast, we break down one. Hello, my friend. We meet again. Welcome to my own podcast, the only Creed podcast that we know of. I am Andrew Colin, and with me, as always, is my co-host, my guitarist, and my drummer, Reid Fenlaw. What's up, Reid?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Andrew?
No.
It's German.
I know. I speak English.
Oh, I don't speak German either.
Oh.
But I do today.
Oh, yeah? Can you give me something else?
Nein.
I knew that was coming out of your mouth next.
Worst fest.
What's that?
I don't. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
I saw that the German basketball team today just stomped somebody. Spain, maybe?
Oh, Spain? I figured Spain would be
Spain
good.
is usually pretty good, but I know they rolled past somebody today.
We're talking Olympic basketball, FYI.
Yes. And
2024
how far
Olympic
along are
basketball.
they?
What? They're not pregnant.
No, weirdo. I meant in the tournament.
I don't know. Dude, I've hardly watched any Olympics.
Why not?
Because I want to watch them live, but they're on at weird times.
Yeah, just like they're France is probably 9 hours ahead, something like that.
They are. That's a good call. I looked it up.
It's frustrating because you either got to watch it at 1 a.m. or try to watch a replay before getting spoiled on social media.
Yeah. I do want to watch the track and field.
I think that started yesterday.
Yeah. That's always been my jam.
That's your favorite event?
Yeah.
Is there any specific event within athletics that...
I mean, the men's 100 meter.
Yeah.
Well, men's and women's, but both the 100 meter races.
It's over so fast.
And the 4x100 and the 4x400 relays.
Yeah, the relays
both
are cool.
Men, those are,
They're so because they're so fast and intense, it's very at the edge of your seat.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating to me that, especially the 100 meter races, is it these men and women train for so long for this thing, and then it's all over in 9 seconds.
Instantly.
And if you get a bad start, you're just fucked. It's not like basketball where we've been training, but we had a bad first quarter. We can still win the game. No. If you have a bad first second of your race, you're done.
It all coalesces to that one set of 10 seconds.
To that 1 second.
Nice. Well, before we get into one, I want to talk about my favorite Olympic event.
Okay.
Because I think it's underappreciated and I'm trying to spread the word.
Okay, great.
But it's easily table tennis.
Okay.
I think it's impossible to watch otherwise outside the Olympics. And now with the advent of streaming, I guess it's pretty cool that you can pick your sport and just watch it. But Olympic table tennis is so intense and so fast that it's just and it's just so satisfying when you have a good rally and it's just followed up by someone shrieking in excitement.
Ah!
Exactly.
I mean, I'm with you on that. I grew up with a ping pong table.
Table
You're
tennis.
gonna say don't call it ping pong?
Yeah, don't call it ping pong.
Is that an affront to table tennis aficionados to call it ping pong?
Probably not in the United States because I feel when I've looked up table tennis clubs and stuff, they say table tennis / ping pong.
Great.
But I don't know. I feel if you have respect for the sport, you call it table tennis.
It sounds harder. Ping pong sounds like, we're playing the ping pong.
Yeah, we're just messing around playing ping pong.
We're just messing around playing ping pong. Table tennis sounds serious.
Yeah, it is serious.
But it's weird to say I grew up with a table tennis table.
It's a little redundant.
How would you say that? I grew up playing table tennis, but I was trying to indicate that we had one.
I guess I'd grow up with a table tennis table.
Yeah.
Is probably the best way to say it.
Ping pong table feels better off my tongue.
Yeah, it does. Beer pong table. There you go.
Do you want to play table tennis sometime?
I always want to play table tennis because I'm amazing at it.
There's in Denver where I used to live, there's this really cool table tennis bar.
Thank you. Oh, that sounds
called
awesome.
Ace, where on one side is a pretty kind of a nice casual restaurant. Then the other side of the building, which is the same venue, is just a big bar and then 20 table tennis tables you can rent out for an hour at a time.
That's sick.
It was cool.
That would be a game that's really hard to play while even slightly inebriated.
Yeah.
though, I would think.
But it's really fun.
Yeah. I would for sure be down for that.
Let's go to Denver.
Weirdly, I think I may have been there in Denver.
Yeah, right. called Ace. Ace Eat Serve is the whole name of it.
Was it on like a pretty big street, like because I went to Denver for my buddy's bachelor party, like I don't know, several years ago, and we definitely stopped in one place for the table tennis table, but I don't think it was 20 of them, so maybe it wasn't the same spot.
It's on a street called Colfax.
Doesn't ring a bell.
It's like a major street. It's actually trivia. It is the longest non-highway street in America.
Wow.
I forget where it stops and ends, but it's not.
When
just
does
like,
it constitute a highway? Certain amount of lanes?
I think it's a
That's
combination
hard.
of lanes and speed limit.
Because Pennsylvania, you take like 76, I guess, is a highway at some point.
Yeah, if it has a number, it's a highway.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Well, before we get to the song, one more elephant in the room that we got to address.
Oh no,
We missed last week.
Yeah, we did.
We missed an episode, and it was my fault. I woke up on Friday before we record, and I had an awful sore throat, and you can still probably hear a little bit of it now.
It sounds cool now.
Does it sound cool? Do I sound like Scott?
You sound a little bit more badass than you used to.
Should I just always get sick so I sound like a little bit raspy?
Yeah, just always be like 20% sick.
Okay. I can do that. I just got to like wake up in the morning, pour some dirt in my coffee.
Yeah, like smoke half a cigarette, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, gargle rocks.
Ouch.
Just,
I guess that would bruise my throat.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get on it so I always sound this sleek and suave.
Are you feeling better? You sound a little still?
Definitely
a little badass, but feeling
definitely feeling better, and I don't really have a sore throat anymore. I just have that rasp. But I'm excited to get into our song today, Reed, because I know it's one that you really love.
better? I love it. I really do.
You've admitted it before, maybe when you're even trying to hide how you felt about it. You're like, man, I love this song.
I can't hide it, man. It just bubbles up.
Do you remember where your love for this song started?
I think when I bought this CD, as I bought the whole CD, I listened to it straight through. And I think I was just in my room the first time I listened to the whole thing. And I just remember getting to this song and being like, why would they put this last?
Save the best for last.
What? I guess, but I feel like that was not the strategy back then. Like now it doesn't matter as much because everything's digital and no one's listening to an album straight through, most likely. But back then, you did. And I remember being pissed. It's like, why'd you make me wait 10 songs to hear this?
Because, I mean, we'll get into how they felt about the song because I think that's some of the major facts I was able to find. But the fact that it was last, I think, made a lasting impression on you.
It did.
So that's good.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because those songs in the middle, it's easy to get lost in the fold.
That's true. That's true. I just feel like it could have been one of the first 3 songs.
It should have been the first song so that the one is one.
Or were they going for irony?
There could be some irony in there.
It's like when you tell me I'm not your best friend, you're being ironic.
Because you are my best friend.
Because I'm your fucking best friend.
It's a really good ironic bit I have.
Yeah.
You're not my friend.
Yeah, he does it all the time. He tells me he doesn't like me, and I'm like, that's
Try to get my dog to bite him.
irony.
Never works.
You actually did try
That
to get
one
your
is
dog
true.
to bite me when I got here today.
But he's just excited to see you. It never works out.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, pet me.
Don't bite the hand that pets you.
Number 1 rule
Of comedy.
and dog ownership.
Don't bite the hand that pets you.
This song is one that I remember as the first non-major single that I was like, oh, this one's cool. Because when I got into Creed, I feel like I obviously loved Higher. I obviously loved With Arms Wide Open. And then I thereafter discovered My Own Prison, the title track, the big single. And then I forget how I discovered one, but I remember thinking this one's really cool too, even though it's not maybe on the radio or in pop culture as much.
Was this a single?
It was. It was the
4th single?
the 4th single, and it was released. We'll get into the facts, but it was released without major fanfare, and I know it didn't have a music video.
It was the 4th of 4 singles on this album, right? Okay.
And they're all in order. Well, that blends in nicely to the facts because I remember in the What's This Life For episode, you mentioned that their songs were not eligible for the Billboard Top 100 because they weren't sold as singles in the U.S.
Yep.
Which I guess was a strategy by them for people to get people to buy the album as a whole. Well, anyway, that restriction was lifted by the time that this single was released and dubbed as single.
Weird.
So this was Creed's first song that charted on the Billboard Top 100.
Let's fucking go.
At number 70.
Okay.
It was written by Stapp and Tremonti, as every single song on the album was. As I mentioned, it was the fourth and final promotional single, and it's the only one also not to have a music video, as I mentioned. Some other random fun facts that have no bearing on anything. Creed played one on February 3rd, 1999, during their first television performance on Letterman. Apparently, they began playing the song before Letterman had finished introducing them, causing Letterman to force the band to stop playing it.
Dave, no. You don't interrupt Creed once they stop playing.
Yeah, but Creed's got to get their name out there.
Yeah, this is 99. It was out there at this point.
That's true. Yeah.
Like they should be calling the shots.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
We're calling the shots.
Is that why your show's no longer on the air, David?
Yeah, it's probably that, not because you're old.
Is that why? And it just took like 15 years for
the truth to get out?
Yeah.
That you're a Creed hater?
You can't hide from us anymore.
We're coming after you, Letterman.
No, we're not. Wait, don't say that.
We're coming after you to be on your show.
Yeah, to be
my
on
next
your
guest,
show.
whatever it's called.
We'll start talking before you finish introducing us.
Yeah, and you can't do anything about it. The song was also used in a video montage of the second annual WWE tribute for tribute to the Troops professional wrestling event in 2004.
I like that.
Sick.
It's a solid selection for
if
WWE promo.
If you were in the army watching WWE tribute video and you saw one come on, would you get like rock hard?
Yeah, I'd be erect and I'd be more motivated than ever to get that next promotion in rank.
Fulfill your duty.
Yeah.
It was also used as wrestler Ricky Steamboat's entrance theme.
I don't know who Ricky Steamboat is.
I don't know, but he's got a dope name.
I was going to say it's a terrible name.
What?
Steamboat?
Yeah. Like Steamboat Mickey, but you're Steamboat Ricky.
But like Steamboat those don't like go fast.
They go fast enough.
They're just dude.
What do you want to be? Ricky Canoe?
No, I want to be like
Ricky Jet Boat?
Like a Ricky Cigarette Boat.
What the hell's a cigarette boat?
One of those like long, skinny ones, but it goes really fast.
Look, I think we can both agree that the name Ricky Titanic would have been better than all of them.
Yes, or like Pontoon Rick or something like that would have been dope.
Or like Ricky Jet Skis.
Yeah, Ricky Sea-Doo.
Or like...
Yeah, come on. You're almost there. You're almost there.
Ricky Paddleboard.
Yes, Ricky stand-up paddleboard.
Yeah.
That rolls right off the mouth tongue.
Ricky Jet Engine.
No, because we got to stick with boats.
Oh. Ricky Motorboat.
Yeah.
No, I meant like the boat.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about boobs.
Oh, no.
Okay.
All right, well, Ricky, if you need any help workshopping new names for your return, we got you.
Yeah, Ricky Tugboat.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So now some facts that maybe aren't as useless that I think will surprise you. Because have you done any research into this song?
None.
Okay, cool.
None.
Because I know it's one you love, and it's obviously single, but it might surprise you to ask that when asked by Stereo Gum if Creed knew which songs were going to be bangers at the time of their album release, Scott said, essentially they were all his favorites, except for one.
Wow.
I think they definitely stood out to, this is a quote from Scott. I think they definitely stood out to us. Even before we were recording them, they were all our favorites, all except the song One. That was the only one song we went back and forth about. And at one point in time didn't even know if we wanted to put it on the record. Ultimately, the band felt it was a departure from the direction they wanted to go in. Similarly, in a March 14th, 2024 interview with Vulture, when asked what Creed's cheesiest song was, Scott cited One. He says, there are a couple songs that, sonically, I wish the presentation was one. The whole band felt that way. In particular, a song called One. That song we always felt a little bit like, is this cheesy? A little too bouncy? But we kept it anyway and stood behind the message.
That's shocking because I don't really think it's not a noticeable departure from their musical style.
I don't think it is from their style, but I think it feels a little more almost polished than the rest of the album, which feels very raw and like aggressive.
I can see that a little bit, but I don't know. I'm surprised that they singled it out to the point of like we loved the other 9 songs and almost didn't want to include this one.
Yeah, they said that in a few different interviews about how this is the one that really felt like a departure from the rest of it, which is why they didn't love it to the same degree they love the others.
So they weren't saving the best for last.
I don't think so.
They were hoping no one would notice the song.
I think that's kind of why
the
they
last one.
Yeah, they kind of punted it toward the end.
Damn.
Based on these interviews, it just feels like they didn't like it, but the record companies did like it. When it came to releasing as a single, they thought it was one that would be popular, and obviously it was.
Yeah, dude. It's popular with me. It may have been number 70 on Billboard, but I'll save it. I'll save it for the score.
Don't want to give away your yes.
It's one of my favorite songs of theirs.
I like it too. So I was very surprised to learn that.
Also, the message, they're concerned about it being cheesy. I mean, we obviously love Creed. They have a lot of songs with like pretty straightforward, quote unquote, cheesy messages surrounded by hard music. Like I don't think this one is like any worse than any more cheesy than like With Arms Wide Open or In America.
Yeah, I think In America feels a little cheesier to me, but I guess when combined with a more upbeat tonality, they're thinking like that it's kind of on the nose maybe, and it's a little cheesy. Like we're all one. Yeah. And it's kind of like upbeat, like yay! Oh, I can't do that. So I guess I see it, but I still think it is one of the better songs in the album.
Yeah. I'm sticking with my guns. I love it.
Well, maybe when we dive into the lyrics, you'll discover something that makes you hate it.
I doubt it.
I kind of doubt it too, because you probably already read them.
Good. Well, yeah. By no research, I mean I didn't do any like fact finding or look up their opinions on it. Like I had no idea they didn't really love the song.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to speak to you with regard to like facts is I looked in Sinner's Creed as well, and there's like nothing about this song either. So that's kind of why I'm led to believe that kind of just lends some additional support to the fact that like, I don't care about this song. Yeah. From Scott's point of view.
That's sad.
Yeah, but man, it can resonate. What Scott likes doesn't mean it has to be what you like, and vice versa.
That's true. And you know
he really likes Jesus, and you're like kind of just cool with Jesus.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah.
He did some weird shit.
Yeah.
Like
Wait, Scott or Jesus?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Like Scott walked on water.
Wait, no, I think you're getting that backwards.
Scott turned 3 fish and 5 loaves of bread into enough food to feed like 1,000 people.
Wait, no, I think you're getting that backwards.
Scott turned water into wine.
No, wait, I think you're forgetting that.
And Jesus worked at Tallahassee Chili's.
No, that was Mark Tremonti.
Before he got his footing. Well, that's debatable.
Okay.
Well, anyway,
the lyrics are a little more, I think, on the nose than some of the other ones.
Because they're written by Jesus.
No, I think you're confusing Scott and Jesus still.
Well, that's debatable.
Okay.
So
let's get into it.
Yeah.
Affirmative may be justified. Take from one, give to another. The goal is to be unified. Take my hand, be my brother.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of the lyrics, like, a lot of them are straightforward. Some of them I think are not on this song.
Yes.
I get if I can understand the tone of the song and the overall message. I think that first line, I wrote just like agreement is, he's saying like everyone get on the same page here. Agreement is warranted in this case. And I think it's just setting up the rest of the song and the message that like, yes, we all agree what I'm about to say is justified. And then I think take from one, give to another. That's Robin Hood, man. Take from the poor, steal from the rich. Everybody gets a piece of the pie. Or communism. Or socialism. But I don't think he's advocating for either of those two. I think Scott is a red-blooded American capitalist.
I think so too.
So I think it's still like, hey, man, no one deserves nothing.
Okay.
That's what I think he's saying. The goal is to be unified, take my hand, be my brother. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Everyone come together, find peace. I think the symbolism of offering your hand, whether it's a handshake or holding someone's hand or like helping someone up, is just kind of a universal symbol of friendship and being there for your fellow human.
Okay. I'll give you my thoughts, but I want to finish this verse because I think it all kind of goes together. The payment silenced the masses, sanctified by oppression. Unity took a backseat, sliding further into regression.
I think the payment that he's speaking of is, I think he's getting Jesus-y here. I think the payments he's talking about is Christ living and performing miracles and dying on the cross. And I think that mainly because of the next line.
Okay.
Sanctified is a term that or is a word that you really only hear in religious speak, at least in my experience.
And for our listeners who may not know what the word sanctified means, speaking from the perspective of the listeners, can you maybe tell us what sanctified means?
Yeah, it means like declared free from sin. Or
that's
like
what I knew.
Or like holy, made holy.
Okay.
So I think saying like after the oppression that Christ endured from the Romans, who were the ones who crucified him.
Okay.
If you're into that sort of thing. Not if you're into that sort of thing. If you're like
you're into crucifixion,
subscribe to Christianity.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the reference. Christ was paying, and he was sanctified, made holy by the oppression and crucifixion. And then unity took a back seat, sliding further into regression. I think something that the death of Christ caused a maybe necessary but temporary rift in the world. You know, he'd been out there performing miracles and gaining followers on social media. And I think that he's saying that his death just like temporarily halted progress or reverted that progress, but that it was all for a purpose.
Interesting.
Am I way off?
Well, I can't really tell you if you're way off because the band has said pretty much nothing about the meaning of this song.
Nice.
So we're kind of going on our own morals here. That's not the right word.
Yeah, because I don't have many morals.
We don't have any morals. Laurels?
Yeah, we're going off our own laurels here.
Yeah, we're resting on our laurels.
That's the correct use of that phrase.
Yeah, I know. I have a different interpretation of this. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I like agree with some of the sentiments in this. So I'm just going to preface it with that. But it almost feels like he's talking about like the way we treat different people in this country, and like affirmative action in a way comes to mind. And I think I saw that on some billboards of people talking about it. Not billboards, message boards. But ultimately, it sort of feels like he's trying to get at the fact that like treating people of different groups isn't the way to equality and unity. Like when I read unity took a backseat, sliding further into regression, that it's like, and lines like take from one, give to another. It feels like he's saying equality isn't achieved by treating people differently, but rather treating everybody all as one. So like, I don't know that I'm missing something, or maybe it feels like a little bit of a simple message, because I think when it comes to like, you know, race relations or whatever, when it comes to equality in this country, like a little more complicated given our history than just like treat everybody good. But I kind of think that's what he's saying, is that like we're not going to achieve unity by treating each other differently and looking at each other differently, but rather by treating everybody as your brother and your sister.
I could get on board with that.
Yeah.
I feel like, admittedly, sometimes my interpretation of lyrics is influenced by the fact that I think my brain subconsciously looks for religious connection.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of that like imagery and wordplay, and like very like overt wordplay in some of their songs. So, but I can totally see that. And like, I mean, my interpretation of the second verse is much less religious and more like fits in line with your interpretation of the first. But I'm sticking with mine, dude.
Okay. I mean, I think it's I mean, he also says the words like masses, which I don't know, kind of makes me think of Christian shit.
I think that's what it was. It was be my brother, masses, and sanctified that like led me to religiousness.
Yeah. I think that second verse kind of also feeds into my hypothesis, just that like, you know, people are all now equal as one, so we should treat each other equal as one.
Whatever, dude. I'm right. You're wrong.
I could be wrong.
You're wrong.
I don't know what Scott's getting at, if he has any like specific agenda in mind, but it is funny that like still obviously a huge issue in our country, and this was written 25 years ago.
Dude, I literally have that in my notes after the chorus of like, crazy these lyrics were written almost 30 years ago and we are more fucked up than ever. It's
Yeah.
literally right there.
So let's move into what I guess I would call the pre-chorus. 1-0-1. The only way is one. Repeated. What do you think he means by oh?
I think he's a little bit constipated.
Yeah.
When he was recording this song, he's like, "Oh God, oh."
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I think you're probably accurate.
So again, this could be me being skewed by the other Christian themes, but I feel like he's talking about God. But I guess he also could just be talking about being good and kind to each other, and that's our way out of the way the world is. I don't know. I think it's either God or it's just like the only way we get through this is together.
I think it's the latter, personally. That's how I've always heard it. Just like, man, if we want to achieve the things that we want to achieve on this planet, we can't do it when we're divided and when we're disagreeing and arguing over shit, but we need to pull together as one, get shit done. It makes me think of the Michael Scott line when he says, we need to pull together as one and revenge them.
Yeah. It's sage wisdom.
Yeah. So I think it's as simple as that. It's like, if our country's divided, if the world is divided, we're just going to argue and battle and nothing will get done. But if we're one people with that share in the common goal of making the world a better place, that's how we get shit done. You can't pull a boat by yourself.
Not a tugboat.
Not a steamboat neither.
Mm-mm.
You got to work together.
So my question then is, why did no one listen to Creed? Why are we... This is 97.
Because, dude, it only topped at 70 on the Billboard chart and didn't have a music video.
Let's get this song back on the charts.
#1.
Let's get it on the charts.
Let's get it back on the
Let's
charts.
go. Come on.
Let's go. Now moving on to the chorus. I feel angry, I feel helpless. Want to change the world, yeah. I feel violent, I feel alone. Don't try and change my mind, no.
Easy.
Yeah? How are you going to work Jesus into this one?
I actually didn't.
Okay, cool.
I had some mixed messaging on this song, okay?
Okay.
And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think Creed is perfectly capable of writing a song that is half religious, half secular, all with the same message, with the same end goal.
Yeah, there's always
different journeys.
There's always themes
Yeah.
hidden amongst lyrics.
So here, of course, I think he's frustrated that his effort to make the world a better place is seemingly all in vain. And then I think that frustration is boiling over into kind of like a secluded, lonely rage that kind of, when you shut people out because you're so frustrated with how things are. I think that's where he's at with it.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree. I generally feel like there's not progress being made, which is why he feels angry and like helpless. Is like, what can he do as one person to like change the mindset of an entire planet? So he wants to change the world, but like, what can he do as one man? And that makes him feel empty and I think and alone and like helpless.
What if the name of the song is really about him feeling like he's the only one who cares?
It could be.
And he's alone.
And he's Jesus.
He is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus, tugboat Jesus.
I mean, much as I was kidding, I could feel like this was written from the perspective of Jesus, who wants to like teach all of his children to like be as one faithful Christian people and make the world a better place.
Could be.
And he couldn't do it. He was just killed by the Romans.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
The one part that is funny, I think, at the chorus is, don't try and change my mind, no. Because I think like almost that's the mindset of somebody that's working against his cause. Like people that are like, I don't want to change my mind, are the people that you can't get to them. You'd like need to have a open mindset in order to generate change.
Unless you're the one who you know is correct.
Jesus.
Unless you're Jesus.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that line is kind of like a two-way street. Like he doesn't want to have his mind changed, but maybe it's also like an allusion to the fact that there are other people that are like, I don't want to change my mind. I don't want to depart from the ways that I've succumbed to.
Maybe it's irony. It's more ironic than you telling people I'm not at all your friend.
Yeah, or having Nugget bite you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to the final verse of Unique Lyrics. This is where I still think it's really grounded in real stuff. Society blind by color, why hold down one to raise another? Discrimination now on both sides, seeds of hate blossom further.
Colorblind is normally a word that's like used in a positive light.
Do you think he's referencing dogs?
Yes.
Because they notoriously can't see color?
This verse is about dogs.
I think so too.
And certain species of fish who also cannot see color.
I didn't know that. Thank you for teaching
the bubble fish.
The hell's a bubble fish?
Dude, look it up.
Okay.
Don't ignore our oceans just because you can't see what's underneath the surface.
I don't have a sub.
Dude, that was deep.
That was deep.
Thank you.
Write it down.
Mm-hmm. So colorblind is usually something that's talked about as like positive, like, I don't see color. I'm colorblind.
I think that sentiment has since changed, though. Remember the episode Diversity Day in The Office, where Michael says he's colorblind, doesn't see color, and then Mr. Brown, I believe his name is, says, no, we should celebrate each other's differences in color. So I think that's an old school. I mean, maybe this is what Scott's vision was, but I feel like that's an old school way of being like, I'm not racist. I don't even see color.
Well, these lyrics were written in the mid 90s.
Okay, that's true.
You're
racist.
I'm not. I'm just colorblind. Anyway, like the rest of the verse doesn't really match with it being used in a positive light. So you might be correct. That line is a little confusing to me because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the why hold down one to raise another, I think he's saying when one member of the human race succeeds, we all on some level succeed. And we don't need to fuck each other over to try and get ahead. The discrimination now on both sides, I think it's just like the world is evolving and the things that we did in the past 30 years or we've done in the past are now bearing bad fruit and leading to hate and division. The line ending with seeds of hate blossom further. That's what that means to me. I think we've done some bad shit and now the fruit that it's sprouting is not good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm generally on board, but it just I think it sort of harkens back to the first verse almost again, where it just like seems like a dig at almost like affirmative action or like treating people differently based on their skin color or any other sort of defining feature or whatever. Like society blind by color, like we're so concerned with how people look or what they worship or whatever, when we shouldn't like treat people differently based on those factors, but we should treat everybody equally and like pull together as one. And I think the discrimination now on both sides just feels like he's talking about an escalation of people resenting each other based on, these factors that aren't really indicative of who they are as people. And then I think because we treat people differently based on those things, that resentment builds and those seeds of hate blossom. And we continue to hate each other and not get anywhere by not being one person.
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
I think the message, it's hard. When I was thinking about this earlier, it's like, obviously, relations between like races and ethnicities is a very complicated and nuanced issue. And you're not going to break it down or make any like headway in a simple 5-minute song. So I don't know that everything he's saying is like, like a roadmap of how we become like a fixed society. But I think the overall message is one that I think that's the most important thing, is like the overall message. And I think the message of being one people that all love and respect each other is the universal theme that should be taken home. Are there other things you might be alluding to that I don't necessarily agree with or aren't going to like solve race relations? Probably, but I think the overall message is one that should stick in people's brains.
Yeah. I mean, I love the message, and if we're reading it right, like, fuck yeah, it's. I think you're right. It's like it's not a roadmap. He's just like calling out the issue, and then it's like some more just general platitudes of like, it's like, hey, go win the game. But okay, how? What's the plan?
Yeah.
No, man. Hey, we're losing. We shouldn't be losing. Let's go win.
Are you a coach?
Yeah, I could.
Pretty good.
I could be. I was Tommy Tugboat's coach in WWF.
It's Ricky Steamboat.
Whatever, dude. I don't give one shit about Ricky Steamboat. All I care about is one.
The world is heading for mutiny when all we want is unity. We may rise and fall, but in the end, we'll meet our fate together.
Well, let's start with mutiny. It's a rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
And usually rebellions create chaos, which I think he's saying is the world is headed into a chaotic state because of how we're treating each other. I think our collective actions are leading us down this bad path because we are either unable or unwilling to find and focus on our commonalities.
Yeah.
And instead we're choosing to focus on differences and things that divide us even further.
We may rise and fall, but in the end, we'll meet our fate together.
Yeah, I think they're saying we're going to have ups and downs individually, but like we're all on the same planet. No one's getting off of it. So whatever...
Unless you're going to Mars, like Elon Musk.
But they didn't know. They didn't know back then.
They didn't know about Elon.
They didn't know back then.
No.
Elon wasn't even alive in 1997.
I think he was.
Do the math. Do the goddamn math.
He was -6.
Yep. It could also be an allusion to like we'll meet our fate together. I believe could also be a dual allusion to Judgment Day in Christianity, when like Christians believe God will come down and that everyone will be judged for how they've lived their lives or whatever. It's like rich, poor, every race, every class, every human is going to have to answer to God or answer for just what we're doing to each other and the world. Because like everyone, whether you're directly, indirectly, or not at all involved in this kind of like tit for tat back and forth and corrosion of relations between fellow humans, like we all suffer for it.
Yeah.
So I think he's just saying that. He's like reminding those people that like, hey, what the shit that you're doing, it affects everyone and you're dragging us all down. And at some point we're all going to pay for it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think I have much to add. It's just when we may rise and fall, it means like certain people, experience good things while there's people experience bad things. But in the end, it doesn't matter because we're all here together on this planet trying to make the best of it. And in the end, we'll be judged anyway by God.
Dude, nailed it.
That's it for the lyrics, really. Except there's a long instrumental portion where we just hear Scott go kind of like, oh, yeah.
It's it's probably the best part of the song.
That is a cool part, but I don't know if there's much to deduce lyrically there.
I know we don't usually talk about like the music side of it, but I do like as he repeats the chorus 4 times in the song.
Yeah, it's
progressively getting like more aggro. And I do like that at the end, like the guitar just kind of like spins off into like its own chaos and fades out. There's no like polished ending to the song, which I think is like purposeful and kind of a cool way to end.
Yeah, like
the
maybe
album.
a whammy effect that he's kind of using at the end where it's like, yeah, I like that too. Well, in terms of the meaning from the band, I don't have much for you to sort of tell whether or not we were accurate or way off. So instead, I'm going to resort to songfacts.com and see what some other users have posted.
Oh, great. I can't wait to hear what Robert G2158 thought about this song.
Robert has great
fall
opinions.
of 2003.
Yeah. Well, at the top it says, written by Creed guitarist Mark Tremonti and lead singer Scott Stapp, the song is about unity and how you can't change things without the support of others. It describes the lack of unity in our society today, feelings of anger, violence, and helplessness. So that one's kind of obvious.
Okay, yep.
Now, you were really close. Bob from USA says, this song decried...
Wait, hold on. Do you just mean Bob from USA?
No, the S and the A are lowercase, so I'm going to go USA.
Okay, because sometimes it puts their location, it's just a country, so...
Yeah, Bob from USA.
Okay, let's assume it's USA.
This song decries racial tensions in modern society. The song specifically denounces calls that affirmative action may be justified as causing a sliding further into aggression. Instead, the song suggests that the goal is to be unified, and therefore, why hold down one to raise another? To move on, we must realize that the only way is one, because all we want is unity. And in the end, we meet our fate together.
Did he just rephrase the lyrics?
Mostly.
In his own, like, not even in his own words?
He did make a... Yeah. I mean, he did reference affirmative action, too, which is like which isn't really specifically said in the song.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Bob.
I'll
from
read one
USA.
more. Steve from Burke Burnett, Texas. Yeah, I'm not a huge Creed fan, but this is a cool song. I really like the bass lick in the beginning. Also, I really like the message it put out.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve from Burkington, Texas.
Man, I wish we could hear from the band on this, because like I see it now that it could, like, that affirmative could mean something different. Like, I thought that was just kind of a throwaway line of like, hey, pay attention to the rest of the song because the message is important.
But there may be more of like a political
Yeah.
motivation behind it.
Yeah.
But I also do think there may be more of a biblical interpretation of it too that you referenced. So I do think there probably are allusions to Jesus and judgment and being all of God's children.
I mean, and just the name of the song, and that one, like, Jesus is also talked about as the one. Like,
so is Neo from the Matrix.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that movie also has a lot of religious parallels.
It does. Harry Potter is the chosen one. Do you think that has any bearing on the song?
Can I confess something?
You haven't seen the Harry Potters.
I've never seen a Harry Potter
because you're
movie.
a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's sarcasm. He means I'm cool and his best friend.
No, I've talked about how Harry Potter is the dividing line between us as like generational people. What?
Yep. I mean, I don't know.
You're not a millennial, bro.
I'm not. I'm Gen X.
I'm a millennial.
You can't even say it, you idiot.
I'm Gen Y. How about that?
Millennials are so dumb.
I know. And we love butt play.
Hey, man.
That's a theory.
You think that didn't start with millennials, bro?
Hey.
I played with some butts in my time.
Well, on that note about butts, let's get into our final ratings on the song.
I'll go first. I've made no secret to you that I love this song. Like, it's musically, it makes me happy. I think the message of just like, in general, like, treating your fellow humans well, regardless of who they are or where they come from, I think it's dope. I'm gonna give this song 4.5.
Ooh.
Yes. 4.5 yes out of 5.
That is your favorite by far.
That does make it my number one song on the album. That's true.
That's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Saving your favorite for last.
Thank you.
Truly. Yeah, I agree. I like the song a lot. And I don't know. I think kind of what Scott decried as like, oh, it's a departure. I like that it's a little bit of a departure because I think sonically it stands out a lot. And I really like that because I think this album, as we'll discuss more when we get to like a recap of the album, but I do think there are moments where it gets a little blendy together because I think they had a very clear, distinct sound that they were going for and that they achieved. But I do think that songs like this are like really refreshing, which is almost a shame that it's toward the end of the album. I also love how many times he says yeah in this song.
Yeah.
I like the chorus a lot.
Yeah.
And I like the upbeat nature of it.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest takeaway for me is that Ricky Steamboat used it as his entrance song.
Yeah.
That just makes it real special.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think it's better than my favorite songs in the album. I think it's right there with them.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give it 4 yeahs.
Okay.
Out of 5 yeahs.
Okay.
So like about the same level of goodness as Illusion and My Own Prison.
Yep. Yeah, you gave those both 4s.
I think this album has a lot of 4s on it. And for me personally, a lot of the higher ranking songs I think come with the next album, which is coming up.
And I feel like this album probably means more to me than the next one, but I feel like the next one I'm excited for because I feel like that one was your hook into Creed, where this one was my hook into Creed.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's cool.
I'm excited to talk about them too as a whole and compare because they're so different to me. And like, yeah, it's the level of production and everything, the songwriting, it's very clearly like a step forward.
They'd become, this album made them stars.
Exactly.
My Own Prison made them stars, and then they had all the trappings that come with that, which is better studios, different producers, like just more,
better sandwiches,
like more
craft services.
Yeah. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Reed, this is the final standard track on the album.
Wow.
So soon, we're going to be moving on. But we do have one bonus track that was only, I believe, released on the Japanese release.
Is it in Japanese?
I wish. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
But I don't think Scott knows Japanese.
What's the name of that song?
That song in our next episode will be Bound and Tied.
Sounds sexy.
Yeah, it's an S&M song. And then from there, we'll recap the album and move on to Human Clay. Any final thoughts on one before we get out of here?
I love it. I don't care that they don't love it. I didn't know that. I also think like saying it's a sonically a departure, like in the 80s and 90s, every rock band had a song that was a departure.
Like a
and
ballad.
It was often a hit. Yes.
Yeah.
Like all those like 80s and early 90s rock bands did ballads, and a lot of those ballads turned into big hits. So I don't know. It's my favorite song on the album. The message is great. Musically, it's great. I like that it's a little more like
Punchy.
upbeat and punchy. And I'm going to listen to it on the way home.
Hell yeah.
Over and over until I get home, which is going to be about 30 or 40 minutes probably.
I do think that it's funny that when there's like a separation of what the artist likes and what people respond to, it just goes to show that like, I don't know, different stuff works for different people. We all have our fetishes. You love feet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like feet.
I love them. I love feet so much.
You love fingernails.
I love fingernails.
I don't love them particularly. But on that very normal note, Reid, I think it's time we make our escape.
Let's go there.
For my own podcast, I'm Andrew Colin.
I'm Reid Fenlaw.
Bye.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
No, we don't.
Okay, that's German.